If this made you think, like this video and subscribe, because what comes next matters even more. We have established something important. Energy is not just a concept, not just physics, and not just theory. It is the foundation of everything, from the beginning of time, from what we call the Big Bang. Energy began to move. And that movement created everything we now depend on. But there is a problem. We do not see the whole system. We never have. Every individual operates from their own perspective, a limited view of a much larger reality. Today, however, for the first time in history, we have something different. We have computers, machines that do not think, do not assume, and do not guess. They calculate with absolute precision. This changes everything, because we are no longer guided by opinion, but by data. So we bring this back to where it really matters. Pipelines, global networks, the arteries of modern civilization. There are millions of miles of pipelines across every country and every continent, carrying the energy that powers homes, industries, and entire economies. These systems are under constant threat, not just from war or sabotage, but more than anything else, from corrosion. Corrosion is a silent process, invisible, continuous, and electrical in nature. That is the key. Corrosion is not just chemical, it is electrical. And if we want to understand it and control it, we must measure it accurately. For decades, the world believed it was doing this. Standards were created, numbers were followed, and systems were installed. Yet pipelines continued to fail, again and again, because assumptions are not measurements. This brings us to the turning point, the Alexander cell. For the first time, we are not estimating or guessing. We are measuring reality directly, electrically, and using repeatable and verifiable data. Once you can measure something properly, you can understand it. And once you understand it, you can control it. This is where everything changes. Control is not just technical, it is economic, political, and global. Everything today is controlled through systems. Money, data, and communication all depend on electronics and energy. Remove that and the system collapses. That is why measurement matters. That is why accuracy matters. That is why control matters. We now have something real, not just an idea or a theory, but a complete system. The Alexander cell, the survey methods, trained people, global network, and real data. But none of these work alone. You cannot take one part and expect the system to function, just as you cannot take wheat and call it bread. Everything must be combined, synchronized, and applied correctly. When that happens, we move from uncertainty to control, from risk to stability, and from assumption to knowledge. This creates opportunity. In today's world, everything is valued through money, through systems of exchange, and through measurable results. So we align what we know with how the world operates. Real data creates real value. Real value creates real reward. And real reward drives real action. This is how change happens, not through argument or confrontation, but through demonstration, through results that cannot be ignored. So as we continue, remember this: we are not just studying corrosion, and we are not just protecting pipelines, we are redefining how systems are understood, how they are measured, and how they are controlled. Because the future does not belong to those who guess. It belongs to those who can see clearly, measure accurately, and act with certainty. And this is only the beginning. If this video added to your understanding of corrosion and science, please subscribe and give the thumbs up, because this helps the knowledge and understanding to spread. Thank you.